Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Mbali Talks. In today's video, I want to share with you 4 low-cost startup businesses that can actually make you a high profit. What I also like about these businesses is the fact that they are businesses that consistently have customers throughout the entire year, and secondly, they are businesses that don't require you as a business owner to wake up every day to go and attend to them. As per YouTube tradition, please kindly join our community by hitting the subscribe button, and if you haven't already, please do click the like button just so that you can improve this video's algorithm, and therefore this video can keep showing up in the faces of people on YouTube that can actually use this information. Without wasting any more of your time, let's get right into it. The first low startup and high cost profit business that I'm actually going to share with you is something that I've seen every time that I am on travels. And I've always liked the idea of being able to travel and explore, and it's actually one of the reasons why I actually love traveling in the first place. It gets to open up your mind to all the kinds of possibilities and or businesses that are out there that maybe we may not have back home. This is definitely one of those businesses. The business that I'm going to suggest first is a bike rental business within the city. Places like Durban, Cape Town, Johannesburg CBD, especially the Maboneng area, as well as Mpumalanga, are commonly known to be cities that attract a lot of backpackers. The thing about being a backpacker when you're traveling, or even just an ordinary tourist like somebody like myself, is that you don't want to find yourself spending a lot of money outside the activities that you actually want to do, which is where a bike rental business comes in, because that will cut out the cost of either needing to rent a car and or you needing to always pay for Ubers in order to get around in the different cities. So the kind of bikes that you can actually buy for your business are something that is called a city bike. I think if you go to the bike shops and do a bit of your own research, you're going to realize which bike could actually be a good idea for you to start out with in your business. A typical city bike can take anything from 4,000 Rand all the way to 20,000 Rand per bike. However, I do know that there are places that sell second-hand bikes. So maybe if you're someone who feels like you just want to dip your toes into the business before you can actually fully commit, you could actually look into buying second-hand bikes as a way for you to start the bike rental business. One of the easiest ways for you to be able to start a bike business is actually something that I saw when we were in Bali. Outside the different hotels, there were different bikes that had been perched there. And these bikes don't necessarily belong to the hotel. And I know that sometimes you may think, why would the hotel not just take over the business? Literally, the hotel is not into the bike renting business. Most likely the hotel owner and or owners feel like maybe it could be just a business that's a lot of work to run. Therefore, they don't look into it, which is where you can actually come in, because you can slot yourself inside that gap by approaching those different hotels and lodges and asking them if you can actually place your own bikes outside for their own potential clients and or residents to be able to rent them out. And now that you'd probably involve the hotel itself, you'd probably want to offer a bit of a commission to say, for every bike that is rented, you're probably going to pay maybe 50 Rand. If you're renting each bike at say maybe 250 per hour, which a lot of the backpackers are going to be willing to rent out at that price, because there are people that come to countries like ours with dollars and pounds, etc. So for them, 250 is literally close to nothing for them to be able to get around the city easily when they're trying to get to the different attractions that they actually want to go to. So now you're charging your bike rental at 250 per hour. Imagine that only 10 hours in one day of bike rental literally accumulates to 2,500 Rand in that day. And most likely, if you have more than one bike, say maybe you've got 5 bikes, that 10 hours is only going to be done by one group. So it's not 10 hours per day. You'll probably find yourself getting paid 30 hours and or even more in one day, depending on the size of the group and also how many hours they're going to be spending on those bikes. So when you think of it like that, literally paying 50 Rand per hour to the hotel for each bike that is rented is almost close to nothing, because you would still be taking a bigger portion of the profit. Not only that, bikes are very easy to maintain. All you need is to make sure that the tires are great, and also for you to take them in every now and again for servicing and oiling. But it's just one of those easy businesses that you can start out with almost close to nothing, but that will consistently make you money every day. The second low startup business that you can actually start, which I believe gives you a high profit, is something that I see all the time when I'm out at clubs, guys. And I've always thought to myself, this is actually an interesting business. However, another thing that I realized most of the times at clubs and or at events that actually provide this business, you find this business is not run by the actual club owners and or the event people. The people that are running it are people who probably rented a stall and then they're able to provide that kind of service. The business I'm talking about that you can actually start is a hookah business.
Not the hookah business that you're thinking about.
What I'm talking about, guys, is for you to start a hubbly bubbly business at events and or at clubs. So the standard price for a hubbly bubbly ranges between 600 Rand for the small, cheaper ones, all the way I think to 1.8 for the ones that I saw last year when we were actually doing our own research for a similar business. What I like about the business is the fact that, and this is a concept that we actually did try out at an event that I was part of some 2 years ago, is the fact that I think we had about 6 of them. People get there, they want to rent the Hubbly Bubbly. So you rent it out at say maybe 250 just for them to be able to keep that thing. But where you actually make money is where they keep changing the flavors and the coils that go with the Hubbly Bubbly, because you can literally say each coil is say maybe 150 and or 200 rand, as I've seen in other places. In fact, I know one event that we went to, changing that coil was literally 300 rand and people were paying it. Can you imagine a situation where the entire night one table has first of all paid 250 for them to be able to keep the Hubbly Bubbly, and then secondly they've probably changed that coil 5 times. 5 times 300 is literally 1,500 plus the 250. So from one table you are easily making 1,750 in that night from one Hubbly Bubbly. I feel like this is quite honestly one of the most easiest businesses that are booming, especially if you're somebody who's in the entertainment space. Even if you feel like, okay, you're the event owner, you don't want anyone else to take up the stole of providing Hubbly Bubblies, this is another way that you can implement in your event business for you to be able to make a bit of extra money, because all you need is to just get 2 or 3 people that are going to be walking around the tables checking on the Hubbly Bubblies to make sure that they consistently stay refilled, so that people can consistently keep paying that 150 or 200 rand for the refill. What I also like about this business is the fact that it's not an everyday business, guys. Like, clubs and events are not happening throughout the entire week. It's literally something that you can tell yourself that you're doing every Friday, Saturday, and or Sunday. By the end of that weekend, I can assure you, you're going to literally sleep every day with minimum 20k. And this is money that, when you think about, is literally possible in a hookah business, because like I said, if one table rents out that entire thing for the entire night, it's 1,750, which is pretty much 2,000 rand. Imagine a situation where you've got 5 Hubbly Bubblies going around different tables for the entire night. That's 5 times 2,000 rand from just one event. And as the business keeps growing, obviously you're going to buy more Hubbly Bubbly apparatus in order for you to be able to obviously make more money. So it's definitely one of the businesses that I'd consider starting if you're looking for a business that's low cost to start but can give you high profit.
So if you've made it to this part of the video, it means you're enjoying the content that I'm actually sharing. Please just reward me by hitting the subscribe button so you can join our community, and also by hitting the like button so that this video can keep showing up in the faces of people who can actually use it.
Now we're going to move on to the next business. The next low startup cost yet high profit business that I'd suggest for you to start right now is a car wash business. Literally, guys, if you read any article on easy businesses or businesses that are low startup or businesses that are high profit, you will always find a car wash in that list, which is why it has made it into our list in this video today. So a typical car wash will require you to have a bit of space, obviously, for people to be able to wash their cars, and a bit of parking space, even if it's just to accommodate 5 or 6 cars at a time. A typical car wash charges about 80 rand. Not mine that literally charges 120, guys. Yo. But you can be that person that charges 80 rand per car for a full car wash, which basically includes the washing as well as the hooving and obviously tire shining. Your biggest cost for a car wash business will probably just be the water, because I can't imagine a situation where you're spending thousands of rands trying to buy soap and or trying to buy polish. But obviously water becomes a big part of it. But still, imagine a situation where you're charging 80 rand per car and your anticipation is say maybe 30 cars in a day. That's an easy 2,500 rand per day for you to be able to make money from that business. If you multiply that, say maybe by the entire 7 days, suggesting that your business is actually working every day, you are easily making 16,800 rand per week. Obviously multiply that by 4, you're close to making 70,000 rand per month. And this is just a high level estimate. Even if you were to be able to make half of that every month, you'd still be making 35,000 rand, which quite honestly, you are not putting any effort into making, because all you did was find space and advertise the fact that you have a car wash, hired probably 2 or 3 guys that are actually the ones that are going to be washing the cars. So again, it's a business that you don't really have to be hands-on every day. What you can do is probably appoint 1 worker as somebody who's going to be a supervisor, because a car wash is a cash sensitive business. Somebody that you trust that will be able to record the cars that have come in and therefore be able to record the sales. Another way to encourage people to work diligently for you when you're dealing with a cash sensitive business is to pay them a commission every time that they do the work, so that they will know that, you know what, even though I'm washing this car at 80 rand, 20 rand of this money is actually mine. And again, even if at the end of the day, out of the 70,000 rand, for example, that I started with at the beginning, you only make 20% profit, you would still be making 13,800 rand on a monthly basis for you to be able to run a car wash business. So it's definitely the business that I suggest as a low-cost business if you're looking to make high profits. The next business that you can start, which even though it's not necessarily low cost, is actually a high profit business. And I'm saying it's not low cost because you will need to invest a bit of money in order for you to buy the machinery that is involved in running this kind of business. But what I like about it is that you literally buy the machinery once and you can consistently make money from that one machine throughout the entire year or even for 3 years without you ever needing to buy another one, unless of course your business is grown and you feel like now you want to expand. This business is an ice making vending machine, which basically means you will be making ice, packaging it and selling it to different people. So a typical vending machine costs about 50,000 rand. You guys can do your own research and check online, but this is something that I saw on Take a Lot, and I thought to myself, isn't it funny that it's so easy for you to actually be able to get this kind of machines in order for you to start your business? Because previously you'd have probably had to order a machine like this all the way from China, where you don't even know if the machine has problems, how you're going to send it back. But now there's places like Take a Lot that you can actually check out for you to be able to buy a business similar to the one that we're talking about. I think if I'm not mistaken, I also saw it on a platform like Builders Hardware, but I could be mistaken. Anyway, it's just very easy for you to be able to secure an ice vending machine nowadays in order for you to be able to start this type of business. An entry-level ice making vending machine probably produces about 60,000 bags per day of ice, and you're estimating that you're going to be selling about 100 bags in one day. You can easily be making 2,000 rands in a day. Multiply that, say maybe by 6 days, because you're anticipating maybe people are buying ice only from Monday to Saturday, I don't know. Or even if you were to multiply it by 4 days, 2,000 rand times 4 equals 8,000 rand per week. Multiply that by 4 weeks, you're easily making 32,000 rand in a month as extra income. Even if you were to be able to make 20% out of the 32,000 rand, that's still a lot of money that you'd be making on the side passively without you ever needing to place your finger on it. Which is why I feel like an ice vending machine is something that can make you a lot of money, even if you were to just target events, by basically approaching the event producers and saying, hey guys, I'd like to supply ice every time you guys have an event. Trust me, those people are more willing to hire you than for them to now think of the stress of having to actually buy their own ice vending machine, hiring people that are going to package the ice, etc. So these are all the gaps that you can actually tap into as someone who's trying to start a passive income business for yourself, as a way for you to be able to create an extra income. So I know that on platforms like these and on such videos, we share a lot of content, but I just want to remind you guys that the content that we share will not work unless you're willing to put in the work. And I can share a lot of easy platforms on how you can actually make money online or make $1 online, but sometimes I feel like it's very important for us to even share those that will require you to put in a bit of extra capital, because those are the businesses that are going to make you the most money.
I thought let me just mention that as a reminder for those that are trying to find quick cash.
Sometimes quick cash is not possible. Sometimes a get rich quick scheme is not what is going to consistently make you money. So businesses like the ones that I've suggested in this video are definitely businesses that I'd look into if you're trying to make passive income and actually make high profits for yourself. With all that said, I've come to the end of this video. Please do join our community by hitting the subscribe button, and also please always leave your channel notifications on so that you guys never miss out on the content that happens on this channel. And also, one last time, please do hit the like button so that this video can do well on the YouTube algorithm. Otherwise, I'm gonna see you guys in the next Mbali Talks video. Cheers.